So today we're going to be talking about nonsense on Twitter again. Like the title on this video is going to be something, I don't know, along the lines of like, I don't know, Angel Reese best friend exposed for Caitlin Clark hate or something. But at the end of the day, like, I don't think this reflects on Angel Reese. Like, and I don't understand how you can have a double standard. And I stand by this. If you think Jada Jimfy joking about Angel Reese, or Conor McCaffrey's brother joking about Angel Reese, or McCaffrey liking an anti-Angel Reese tweet when Angel Reese cheered his girlfriend getting cheap shotted. If you have issues with that, like, first of all, I don't think they're on the same level as what happened here, but it's like, I don't think players are responsible for one-off comments from their friends. Like, I don't think Aaliyah Boston is responsible when her friend has been throwing shade at Caitlin Clark. I don't think Nalissa Smith is responsible for some of the things her family has said. Even though, like, with Nalissa Smith especially, I do think they're coming from a good place. But I don't think she's responsible for that. I don't think Nalissa Smith is responsible for Dejanay's tweets. And I think that we've spent the entire year being like, Caitlin Clark is not responsible for what others say. And a lot of the people preaching that have now flipped and are blaming Angel Reese for a comment on an IG live. A completely out of pocket comment, by the way, from someone who's her friend. And the reality of the situation is that I think as long as it's not continued targeted harassment towards other players in the WNBA, like Aja Wilson's friend, like, that dude has, first of all, the guy was banned from teaching because he hit a kid, and then is allowed in WNBA circles. I don't know how, but constantly harassing players, coaches. It's ridiculous. Like, obviously, something has to be done with that. But this post right here. So, people come at Aja Wilson being associated with Dolores, but I love how no one mentions Angel Reese's best friend is just as bad. There's a difference between, and by the way, this is a horrible comment. Caitlin Clark, you look like a man. Bye. Like, that's a horrible comment. An absolutely horrible comment by somebody who is a friend of Angel Reese. And look, it's not a right comment. Whoever this person is, fuck you. Like, you are, like, that's horrible. There are certain things where you're like, you know what, there are comments you can't really come back from. But at the same time, the person who are like, people, you can't compare this to the Aja Wilson situation with that person, because that person has continuously harassed WNBA players for the last half decade. Like, it's very different there. Someone said, I've been trying to give Angel the benefit of for so long, it's really pissed me off. You just won a championship, your best friend, first thought caller, man. It's like, to be fair, Angel Reese's first thought after a championship, in fairness, was to video herself and go, this is for you, Caitlin Clark. Like, on Instagram Live, which is the single, like, if you're talking about bad things, Angel, like, things I actually don't like, really dislike Angel Reese doing, the jumping up and clapping, cheap shot, and the this is for you, Caitlin Clark, so it wasn't just a spur of the moment thing. Like, I don't think I'm not gonna lie, I don't think the doing that in the game was, as Portnoy would say, classless. I think there's a much better argument that the IG Live afterwards was. But it's like, he says the same, no doubt. And it's like, people saying this type of stuff, I'm not joking. It's like, you're looking at, I've always said this, the crazies on both sides are the same. Everyone's like, oh, you know, Caitlin Clark fans are worse. It's like, no, like, crazy people are the worst. And the problem is that in any big fan base, there's crazy people. And the problem is all the crazy people are the same. And those crazy people think that they're in the right. The reality situation is neither of them are responsible. Like, if Gabby Marshall came out and started saying negative stuff about another WNBA player, that wouldn't be on Caitlin Clark. If Monica Zanano said something, it's not on Caitlin Clark. If Lexi Hull says something, it's not on Caitlin Clark. Just like the same difference. It's the same difference with Aaliyah Boss's friend. Like, we all in life have friends that have posted dumb stuff on social media. Really dumb stuff on social media. And I think if we all disowned friends, even something completely out of pocket, if we all are honest, if we've all disowned friends from one out-of-pocket post, we wouldn't have any friends anymore. We've all said really dumb things. And obviously, this was malicious. This is completely crossed the line. And like, I don't think I've ever said something like that. I hope I haven't. I really hope I haven't. Like, something along those, like, of that malice towards a person. I really hope I haven't ever done that. But the reality situation is, we spent the entire year basically saying Caitlin Clark is not responsible for the actions of others. And then as soon as you find out that, you know, Angel Reese is someone associated to her has done something like that, you're saying that she's responsible. I don't personally think AJ Wilson is responsible for Dolores. But when it's continued harassment, and in fairness to AJ Wilson, she hasn't been spotted with the guy in a while. So, like, maybe that could be just I'm disassociating from you. And to be fair, that's enough. She doesn't have to address it. She's probably can't be seen in public with the guy again. And yeah, it's like, it's constantly like moving a goalpost. Like, if Caitlin doesn't have to speak up for others, neither does Angel. Neither does AJ. It doesn't matter if you like the player, if you don't like the player. The reality is right and wrong is wrong. Like, you don't judge a person by the actions of people around them. Unless, like, again, if it's continuous and they're constantly choosing to be around them, it's one thing. Of an action. Like, again, there's so many situations of stuff like this happening. And if we really were going to hold players to be this accountable, I mean, you're looking at every single pro basketball player or pro sports person being, like, shunned. But yeah, it's just frustrating. It's really frustrating because we spent the year, and I think anyone with any logical sense spent the year saying that, you know what, Caitlin was not responsible for the actions of others. And I think that's, if you were trying to push that on her, I think you were doing that out of malice and trying to tear down a 22-year-old. And I think that's the vast majority of people's thought process around it, is that it was not about, you know, oh, we're trying to have equality, we're trying to stop this. No, they wanted to break Caitlin Clark. But the answer for that is not, let's, you know, fans of these two players, and I don't even think it's fans of these two players, I think it's just people that want to tear down Caitlin. Because I think these people will want, if Angel Reese ends up balling next season, they're going to want to tear down Angel Reese. As well. But let's just say hypothetically, fans of these two people have been trying to tear down Caitlin all year, and then we found dirt on them, so let's tear them down too. Like, that's dumb. That's dumb. Like, eye for an eye makes everyone blind, and I think it's probably better to come to the realization of, you know what, none of them are responsible. It's Twitter bullshit. And if you want to hold Angel Reese responsible for Twitter bullshit, then don't be surprised when people are holding other players that you like responsible for Twitter bullshit. Nobody should be responsible for Twitter stuff that has nothing to do with them. But anyway, I'll see you guys. I'm going to bed.